Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz and we are live. Live to the Leadership edition of episode 5, SAS Australia Channel 7. Who dares wins. If you're here, you're dead, you won. I'm daring on the stock market at the moment. I won't know till later if I win. Guys and gals, we've got a show for you tonight, we have. If you want to put a comment in, you need to be a subscriber. Okay, make sure you do that. I'll just make sure I've got that sorted. Wait. Edit time. Subscribers, any duration, done. Okay, we're good to go. So as soon as you subscribe, you'll be able to comment down there. You're more than welcome. If you need more, join. If you want one-on-one through the bat phone, make sure you subscribe through the remarks below and you can have one-on-one conversation. I'm dressed like this because we're talking about leadership and I need to let you know I wasn't a leader. I wasn't a reluctant leader. I wasn't a necessary leader. I was when I was a section commander. I was a supporter of the ship. Leaders need supporters of the ship, and we're going to be talking about that tonight. We've got some questions after we start to do some how you goings to some of the special people here. We've got Daz. With so much going on in his life at the moment down in South Australia. We've got Lauren, who is shining, was just speaking to her right up until the witching hour where we pressed go live. We've got Jay Hayes, West Side, not cerebral palsy. We've got Joshua Fawns. Good to have you here. Fawning over the channel. Xbox Kid, he's here. We've got, who else we got? We've got Carl P, always here, loves it, lives for it, has got some great news we can't share with you because we're not allowed to mention military members on the stream. And he's about to be one. I won't say anything more. Giuliano Sticker has been here forever too. Great to have you here, sir. Eats 369 Brussels sprouts, which I owe you one of.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
Did you hear that? I never said Siri. I never said it.
I don't know what you mean by.
Okay.
I never said Siri, I never said it. How about a website?
Get in your box. Okay. We've got Nicole King, King of Queens here. We've got Johnny here. Good to have you. Johnny, be good. Be good, Johnny. Dave Penson from Vietnam, his second tour. Great to have you there. Say good day to the lovely lady. And we've got the red man below you. You need to slip, slop, slap, get out of the sun. Or are you actually an American Indian? Are we allowed to say that? Tyrone, is it? G'day, mate. How you going? Jacob, good to have you here. We've got the unarmed salad. Salad. You're not allowed in this house. Neither are vampires. They can only come in with permission. We've got Daniel Clark was a man. He was a real man. We've got Tactical Nook in a New Zealand accent. Lightfoot. Mate, when you called me today, I was at the river with my kid. It's a school holiday. Sorry about that. Guys and gals, before we talk a little bit more about leaders, we got this. What's the movie from? What's in the box? What's in the box? That came from Brad Pitt. I know what's in here. It came from Townsville. I won't let you know the member's name because I don't think he wants to be named. But this is going to be fantastic. I think I know what it is. I think you know what it is. We're about to find out with this present I got for my 50th birthday what's inside, and I hope it's not humble pie. Please let it be a celebration in a blue bag. Express post, $27 to send this. It weighs about, I don't know, a couple of 100 grams. My God, it's what I thought it was. What's in the box? Let me know, team. What do you think is in the box? 7. Lauren, well done with the pop culture there. What's in this box right now? Red man, first to say it, I believe. Bam. That's a full mag right there. 4 bags of tubes. For those that don't know, I've been eating these for 45 years. I was about 5 or 6 years old when I started eating these at Holsworthy, Army Town. If you've never had them and you want to be addicted to something, then that's your vice. Fantastic. Makes your tongue feel like a convict's back after he's been caught doing something wrong. Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, mate. And I will make this more than worthwhile because I tell you what, as the Indians do, if someone gives you something, you give something back. And that's what it's about. We've got Corey. How's it going, Kaz? I'm good, mate. Red Man, well done with that. Skylight, great. Questions for you guys. My fat kangaroo, good to see you there too, my friend. Questions for you. I want you to put this down below. It's just a yes or no. Are you a leader? Are you a leader? Because we're going to extrapolate, okay, what happened on the 5th episode, which is called Leadership from SAS Australia. This is a global channel team, but predominantly from Australia. This is an Australian uniform, the ex-Australian uniform. I'm a veteran, always will be a veteran, but I'm here to let you know how to think about certain topics now that I'm over 50 years old, so that you can sit back and relax. Instead of looking something up, researching, I'll just give you the good oil from above the line teachings. I've got the, the plaque for it around here somewhere too. Are you a leader? We'll get on to the next question after I say g'day to this one. We've got the Kane Higgins there with the Mutsu cow. $5 I'll be spending on some raw chicken. Hey, Kaz and team, I went to get my shoulder checked out and I found out that I have strained muscle in my left shoulder. I thought you were right-handed, if you know what I mean. Mate, look after yourself. You've got a long time left on this earth. Kane, thank you very much for the dinero. That's equivalent to 5,000 subscribers watching the video. Well done. Better than AdSense every time. Thank you, mate. Okay, so we asked, are you a leader? This is the big one, because most of you may or may not know. What is a leader? Let us know in comments. What is a leader? Well, I've been told I am, says Nicole. There you go. Econo memes. I'm sorry, mate. My eyes are zapped. Steve B, yes, but I can also follow. You need to know how to follow before you can lead. So that's a fantastic line right there. Daniel Clark says yes. So what does it take to be a leader? If you've said yes, you'd better know what it takes to be a leader. Are you a reluctant leader? Were you a necessary leader? Were you someone that everyone of exactly the same rank in a sports team said, we need you to be there in the absence of someone else having leadership? Here's some things about leadership. Bam. Sun Tzu, Ancient Art of War. No one really knows, was that about a conglomerate of people or was it about a specific person named Sun Tzu? It's excellent. The more military you do, the more you'll understand this. It'd be like reading the Bible. Okay, you don't read it from front to back, etc. I'll be sending more of these out to some of you leaders soon. What? One of the packets has exploded. The tube is never chewed. Bam, Rwanda. What sort of leader does it take to get you back alive from a place like that? Okay, it takes special leadership. And you know what? The burden of leadership can last the rest of your life. And when you step up to be a leader, you have to be ready to take that on and understand what it means and research it. We've got Kane Higgins there. No more money from you, my friend. How's it going? It's going good, depending on who you ask. And if you're having a bad time at the moment, then I'm sorry. The burden of command. That's what it looks like. Bam. This is Frank Percy Weir. First World War, 1914 to 1918. The date he died was the 10th of August, 1915, and his serial number was 115. This guy died following someone, never came home, okay, but his number, a letter would have been written by a commander, and that's what it's about, the burden of command. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff here for you, team. I don't really know how to present this in a way that I can really keep you transfixed, mobile, asking you questions, etc. I've got videos here. I've got all sorts of shit. This is a video you really need to give to someone who's fairly high on the horse, so to speak, because often people that think they're leaders but lack ability can also be narcissistic, can be people with personality disorders. So beware of those. We've got economic means saying someone who builds up those around them takes pride in your team unit. A little bit. If a leader is right, but people won't follow, that's not a leader then. My mate says you will need to do the job even if nobody believes in it. You will know if you actually are a leader. The sad thing is we have people from human resources through quota, okay, and I'm talking about the Royal Military College, okay, RMC. The majority of them are not leaders at all. But they are a necessary evil because they've stepped up. There's positions that must be filled, and there's money that's been spent. Okay, you can't 18 months later say, don't give this person a gig, right, because you've already spent the cash on them. Next question, to be a leader, you need to know how to follow. That was already stated before. I've got a whole bunch of points here that I'm about to read out in a moment, which is the reason why we had to say to Lauren too, please, to be as respectful as we can to Lauren, who's waiting in here too, who's been the leader of institutes, etc., that we need to keep on a roll with tonight. So we've got Carl P. G'day, Bretty. Bretty's here. It's always fantastic when Bretty's here. Katie can say, Bretty, Jay, Daniel Clark, a leader is accountable. That's a fantastic one for everything within his team and around him. Okay, here's one. Daniel Clark. If that is the case, how come no leadership have been sacked after Afghanistan withdrawal? That means no accountability. You can write all the letters you want, but if you haven't achieved your mission, you get sacked or you die on the shield. That's the way it works in the military. Right, we've got a whole bunch of things. Just a quick one here to show you that I'm not wasting your time. We have prepared this show, and we will be speaking to you about some of these things in a moment. Not just that. We'll be speaking about the cast. There's the video. We'll be speaking about the cast of who we're talking about, etc., who has leadership, who doesn't. But there's some parameters that we need to throw out there so that you know you're not coming to a video that anyone could have made. This is from someone who knows so much about leadership, not because I was one, but because I had to follow with a muffle for so many years, 24 years in the military, that still would have been considered a complete career if I had have been an auxiliary 2,000 years ago from Germany to become a citizen of Rome. So that gives me the right to speak about the subject, and you've shown me by coming here and sitting down, and for that I eternally thank you. Paramore, good to have you here. And by the way, Jamie just joined Patreon as well. Thank you, Jamie. Paramore, I think a good leader has experience within the field that they are trying to lead. They need to have compassion, yet know when to be hard. Okay, I would say you need to be consistent. A consistent prick is still fine as a leader. I've had those, because people can be too passive, too nice. The job is to pass the mission. You don't pass the mission by saying, please do this. You never say please unless it's in an administrational requirement. IQ neg leadership, the ability to get others to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. Dwight Eisenhower, there you go. By having someone willingly follow you to do something they would normally be against because they understand that the mission is righteous. Okay, there's a lot of ways to do it. I am hungry, famous quote, Dean Caswell. Okay. Righto, here's one you need to understand too before we talk about some things. There is several sorts of problems, and they can be strategic problems or they can be tactical problems. Okay, leadership. You aren't going to like this. It is a 100% requirement that you are top fit level or you are not a leader. You cannot be a leader if you are not, and I'm talking about proper leadership, tactical leadership, I'll get to this in a moment, unless you are physically fit, have cardio up here. I'll explain why. There's strategic and tactical commanders, and those that are both. When you've been a tactical commander for a certain point of time, then you move into strategy, and then you take on all your information nodes. They feed you the information about a potential situation, and strategy is about defeating your threat force, the mission, so to speak, before you actually step foot onto the theatre of battle. of threat, of contemplation, etc. The tactical commander is the guy on the ground that understands when he runs onto the footy field, he's going to have set plays. He's going to have command structure. He's going to have control measures. He's going to have tactical dilemmas that come to him at a moment's notice, and through redundancy in command, he is able to do set plays that have been rehearsed using leadership training repetition to allow him to make decisions, decisive decisions, faster than his opposing call sign, that allows him to win the day. So the strategic commander can be someone like Churchill. Fine, doesn't matter what the shape of your carcass is, but you're not going to find someone who is then on the battlefield that is the shape of the hog, the literal elephant in the room, who's able to do the job. Because what happens is, when you are under fatigue, okay, and control and tactical dilemmas come in, your tunnel vision starts to come in like so. And when you cannot get control of your breath, okay, you will get audio shutout, inability to make a decisive command, and therefore you will become redundant, okay, in your ability to be able to, not redundant, you'll become basically non-effective in your ability to make a decision because you're trying to get your heartbeat under control, etc. The higher our heart rate, we start to lose dexterity. We start to lose fine motor skills, etc. The fitter you are, the longer it takes. It'll still happen, but the longer it takes. Yeah. Okay. Were you ever given the offer or chance to become a high-ranking leader in those 24 years? I was an NCO, mate. To me, there is no high-ranking leaders. There's RSMs. They're a politician. They're the head soldier, but they've been a politician for a long, long time. They're never the guy on the ground. That's not their job. Even the CSM of a rifle company of 100 to 120 men, okay, that has a crown, is the senior soldier of the company, but is a politician, is the advisor, the mentor to a major or captain in the US for that organisation. He's not on the ground. He's not pulling triggers. He's not doing that. The platoon sergeant is the mentor on the spot to a platoon commander, a tactical commander on the ground. Okay, but again, his job is not necessarily to pull triggers. His job is to put hands on shoulders, to reassure someone and say, it's okay, son. Keep facing that way. What's that pushy doing? Get up, face that way. You'll have time to cry later and the rest of your life if it goes beyond this next situation that's in front of us. Get it done. All right? But I will tell you one thing. My job is to go down on the Titanic. And as I said to Lauren, I will be the very last one to touch the water. But I'll be reluctant. But I will be a volunteer to stay on that ship as the follower. So we've got strategic versus tactical commanders. Before we start to talk about the list here, let's have a look at the cast at the moment. Have you been watching SAS Australia? Orlando W, do you think it's harder to lead if everyone around you is unfit? Absolutely. But by the time you get into a position, the unfit people, it is your direct fault. The commander, if they are fat, if they are unfit, it is your fault. If you have had time to get them up to standard. You have sub-commanders and they are to be held accountable, or they are to be sacked if they can't get their people into shape. HR has to be honest, and we've got that written up here in a minute. What do we got? Let's have a look at the cast. So we've got the cast here. I'm going to have to put on the swipe right, swipe left, goggles here. Sorry, ladies. We've got Kobe Aberden. This guy is a leader, but he is also an authoritarian. He has got some narcissism problems. He is perpetually in survival mode because that's the way he's been brought up. I get it. I'd have no problems following him, just accept the fact there's not going to be much wiggle room left and right. He's going to say, do it this way, only this way, but he has to be able to accept the loss if it happens. Bonnie Anderson got the chance in this episode to be a leader, completely failed. Sam Burgess, okay, he became he was the leader, basically, of the winning squad in this. Okay, but also he was a reluctant leader. He stood up because he had to. Every single one of these people failed except Kobe and him because they were the only two of all of these celebrities and sports people that actually stood up and did anything, said anything. Every single other person did nothing. They may have been a good participant. That's fine. We can't have everyone being leaders. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. You've all heard it. Isabel Cornish, okay, cornbread. Bryn, she quit a long time ago. Bonnie also quit. We've got Dan Ewing, okay, plays a great part in movies, I guess. Probably looks good to the girls, but is not a leader, did not step up at all. Manu, okay, showed poor leadership, okay, plays a part of leader, reluctantly, probably on MasterChef, failed, quit on the show. Erin Holland, okay, not a leader. Emma, the opposite of a leader, but is a politician, can't take responsibility for any of her actions and is a compulsive liar. Jet Kenny, extremely good participant, has no leadership capability whatsoever, had an opportunity, did not stand up. Alyssa Molick, I've found her fantastic on this show. I really did. I really loved her on this show. But again, I didn't see that leadership from her. Great participant, excellent. Pete Murray got tennis elbow from Mark Philippoussis, but he wasn't a leader either. I would have liked to have seen how he actually would have gone in this. He was fairly meek, and that's fine. Jessica Perez, I think she does pretty well in a few things in this. But again, no leadership. Mark Philippoussis, absolutely no leadership. Jana Pittman, I think, is one of the big standouts of this show, but again, hasn't really stepped up at all to take the reins. She's consoled people. She's assisted people. Even when the injury happened where Dan Pronk, who I did my barrier test with before Inifet, Jana Pittman, okay, is a doctor. And when, what was his name? Pete Murray fell down and initially busted his elbow, okay, she stood there like everyone else. Oh. Now, I don't know what she's like in real life as a doctor, having been an Olympian as well, but I don't really see the leadership, but I think she's got the potential to do that. She just needs to be pushed forward and have some more faith in herself to do that. Kerry Pottast, I absolutely adore the fact that this lady went so long before she gave up. 55 years old. I could not imagine doing this as a 55-year-old. I'm 50 now and I'm a dude and I did this for a job where there was no quitting allowed ever, And this lady, 55 years old, went through it, made no excuses. I really enjoyed her participation, but she was a shocking leader. Absolutely horrible. But that was because she wasn't fit. She wasn't able to get beyond that tunnel vision or have the control measures in place to be able to do a job. Heath Shaw admits that he's got attention deficit disorder. I believe I have too. Unable to concentrate, but an excellent participant. Very quiet. John, I think John could be a fantastic representative for himself and those around him. He's very, very fit, but he's an excellent participant, but then just lets himself fade away and doesn't take up the slack. Maybe he will in the rest of the show, don't know. What I'll do is I'll get them off for now. Bam. We're going to talk about a few points here. Now, I'm going to let this play in the background here because there's some shit at the start. And what we're going to go on with now is some headings for you before we actually validate that with what I've written down here. So that's just some eye candy for you guys in the background. Right, first one. Bam. Leader or participant? What are you? Are you a leader or you're a participant? And that can change in any activity, organisation, etc. You need to make that decision because the participant needs to shut the hell up unless they're spoken to when there is a situation occurring. Sammy for the win. I reckon he will, mate. He has absolutely won me over. What an amazing man, despite what he's had in his life. If we'd aired out my life, you'd find a lot of bad shit happening as well. Right, so leader or participant. Fitness and command. We've already discussed that. If you ain't fit, you can't command. You're just trying to get your breath back and you're probably useless. Your weapon is your mouth and your brain. It's not your actual physical capability on the tools. Your job is not to touch the tools. Your job is to give commands, strategies, control measures, and leadership, decisive commands that gets the maximum amount done with the least amount of words spoken. Bam. Redundancy in command. We're going to speak about that one in a moment. Control measures, Again, we'll speak of those. Honest HR, human resource allocation, who's useless, who's shit, who's a burden for this. And if you get a chance to sit them out, sit them out. If you don't get a chance, then give them a job that makes them valuable. But be honest about their true ability in different areas, and they will not be ashamed. They'll embrace the fact that you didn't throw them under the bus. Oops. And the last one we got there, honest in AAR, which is an after-action review. You need to be able to close off everything, pack it back up, and say, what was the fixes and the sustains and the improves? Okay, so the sustain. What did we do well? What shouldn't we change? Okay, leave that alone. And that goes on the shop front to the next stand. Okay, what is the an improve? What do we do poorly? You know, you don't work on the things that you do well. You work on the things that you do bad. And then you have to be able to supply a fix. So if you've got a bitch for something, you have to be able to provide a fix. Otherwise, again, you keep your trap shut. Right, there they are beside a shitter. That's just how different it can be within civilian society. Something so non-consequential can be such a big deal to some. It ain't a big deal. That's why I laugh about transgender toilets. You're going, why does there need to be a separate toilet? Why can't there be just one massive toilet where there's no piss troughs anymore? There's just one massive toilet to give space. Okay, and there's someone that's inside there and some sort of official to make sure that it's all above board and there's no shenanigans or intimidation happening. Steve B, my great uncles were rats of Tobruk. Whew. They both came back. I've been told they respected her when Rommel. Aussies the first to stop the Germans in their tracks. They did. And that was after they went and actually took down, a battalion of signals operators and found out all the information which blinded, Rommel to what he knew about the dispositions of Australian troops. Well done to those rats. The vectors. Bailey's hat. Where do you throw your hat? Where did it land? Hopefully on a heterosexual bed. Okay, the win versus feelings. How often do we see people who are so worried about telling someone what to do that they actually fail, and that is more favourable than making someone upset? That's a no-no, because you can end up with someone losing their life. With these situations, what I'd say to you, if you want to be a commander, let me know down there, put your thumbs up, because you can have leadership but not know how about going about things. And I'm going to explain that one to you quickly again. So you see the people here, they've been given a task, they've been given a tactical dilemma, they've been given some discomfort that makes them think what is happening, what's happening next, creates anxiety that mixes with weather, lack of information, people's inner mechanisms, is saying, I can't do this before they've even tried it or know what's coming up. The impending doom, so to speak, which is the reason why we do mill skills in infantry battalions. And the pinnacle of that is the Duke of Gloucester Cup. That is an absolute ball-tearing, stretching ordeal. Did I do it? Yes, I did. We came second that year from the 2nd 4th Battalion. Joshua Fawn, strip yourself of everything but pride. Yep, get some black humour before you start what you're about to do. So the first thing that happens, you were either the commander or you were a reluctant commander or you were someone that has stepped up to be the commander. The very first thing that you need to do with your call sign, the very first thing, even if they get told, bah, 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 go and do it, the first thing you do is bam, you pick redundancy in command. So the first thing I would do was turn around to Daz and say, Daz, you are my number 2. I am the project. I am the commander. You are my number 2. I say to do this, you make it happen. I don't have to do the yelling now. Daz does. I don't touch the goddamn equipment. I don't touch the stretcher. I don't touch the boat carry. I don't, I am the circus tamer. I am the guy that's out the front of the orchestra and I do the commands and I only speak to Daz. And then Daz does the ass kick and the yelling and gets hated at the end of it because of the way he spoke to people to meet the capability that I said for him to deliver. That's me in real life, the platoon sergeant. The platoon commander goes, Sergeant, make it happen. And that's when I turn on and get the job done. And I'll say sorry later, maybe. We all know, leave the ego at home, son. Don't take your guns to town, boy. Just leave your guns at home. So that's the first thing we do. We make redundancy in command. So the only voice I hear now is Daz. Daz, quick, come in. Boom. Mission is. And this mission was a 3-kilometre boat, a paddle to a position, take the boats out of the water, run up the hill about 1 kilometre to the top of a hill to a spur line, turn around and then run back down to the water where ultimately they had to get, this is them about to do it now, and then ultimately they had to get out and do an activity. All of this could have happened in that vehicle on the way to the location. All I know is that I'm the duty student, I'm the commander, being chosen by peer-on-peer evaluation for being useless. Okay, so I turn around now and go, well, I'm going to bolster that up. Sam Burgess, you're my number 2. Good choice. Good choice. Because he's an actual leader. He is a leader. In the absence of leadership, people follow Sam, and he does it, okay, with a passive nature. But there is a gentle ability for him to command, and people follow that because they know that he will get them back alive. Have I still got yous here? Am I boring people? I hope I'm not boring yous. They're taking the spots that go to combat roles. Right, so I've got my redundant commander. From there, there's white noise. Aunt Middleton is yelling at him, get going, hurry up, pick it up. Who gives a shit? What was the mission? The mission was to beat the other team. Sharpen the axe before you start chopping the tree. The other people are going to jump out there. They're going to pick up. They're going to go too hard. They're going to run out of energy. There's going to be no control measures to what they do. And you're going to take over them later. Okay, because they're not going to be ready for what comes next. So I've got Sam. Sorry, who did I pick before? Daz is my 2IC. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at what has to be done. I have to pick up that vehicle, that boat. Okay, with the paddling, we need a coxswain. We need someone that needs to steer the boat in that direction. Do you know what I'd do? The very first thing if I was Daz, I'd go, Kaz, idea. Let them lead out. Sit in their wake. Let's get up their ass like a sailor on an off-pay week, right, and follow them up so we get caught up in their drag and they do the hard yards. And we just get pulled along. Excellent. Then what happens at the end when we hit the shore at the same time? I've been given orders the entire time. What I want you to do when you get out, you other 6, is buddy up with someone. Same height. Okay, who is the most useless here? Okay, what you're going to do is either be the commander, an allocated commander, or you are going to be the person that guides the route for that vehicle to go, for that carry, for that section to follow. You become the whiskers of the cat and you just follow up. From there, control measures. Boom. Okay, redundancy command, done that one. Control measures. From there, what we're going to do is you've got someone beside you who is the same height that's on the opposite side. Then you've got another 2 in front of you and another 2 at the front of that. So you've got 6 people. Okay, so what you do is you say, when I say prepare to lift, we all pick up, because you've got to also be adverse to the conditions. You've got to be able to, have force protection. You pick it up in one lift, the boat gets picked up. When I tell you to change, the first thing that will happen you'll do is prepare to lower. You lower it to the ground, don't drop it. We place it on the ground. From there, you and your number 2 move forward 1 position. The people at the front peel off, come to the back, but you go to the opposite side. So you're starting to give yourself, okay, a break. You've been carrying with the right hand, now you're carrying with the left hand. Then you're in the middle, then you're at the front, then you're at the back. The back always being the hardest because that's where the weight is. And it's also where on a gradient, you're at the back carrying the weight. So everyone has a position. Everyone feels and understands what's going on. And then from there, your job, remember, is just to beat the other team. Aunt Middleton yelling at you, white noise, don't give a shit. I'm the commander here. Surge, get ahead. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to go forward for 100 metres. Give me 100 metres, you fuckers. They give you 100 metres. Prepare to lower. Everyone. What I want you to do is take 1 minute, get your breath back, change sides. Great job. Doing well. Shake hands, slap backs. Great job. Okay, prepare to lift, lift. And then you surge forward again. So the other team, every time they catch up to you, all right, boom, off you go again. You will demoralize them with that. Your job is just to win. But the main mission for this was the two weakest individuals who had been picked by peer-on-peer evaluation to show that they had decisive leadership. That's all they had to do. But by putting white noise in and fatigue, people got selfish, people got fatigued, people got antsy, and they lost the ability to make a decision, except for Kobe, except for Sam. They took over. Sometimes when someone takes over, what that can do is also ensure that the person that is poor fails. So you've got to be careful of that. Honest HR allocation. That's what we said. Don't give a useless person a job. I don't give a gun to someone who is weakest in their call sign unless it's for a training purpose to teach them a lesson, okay, to get stronger, to get conditioned at something, because that would not be fair. I give it to the person that'd be the best at employment, etc. We're losing people. I'm not speaking enough to you guys. You're starting to leave. Too many cooks spoil the broth they do. Joshy Fords, I love that. Moving in time and formation, great for reloading and covering all the ground by every angle. Yep. Musician. Okay, what do we got next? Okay, honest day out. They'll do that at the end. And that's where you need to be able to take, okay, a kick in the ass if you deserve it. And be prepared to say, I let the team down in that, and face the repercussions. What else? What do we got? Win versus feelings. Okay, consistency in command. If you're always going to be a prick, then always be a prick. That's fine. We're not there to be your brother. Okay, command dilemmas. Command dilemmas are going to be placed upon you, and this is a training thing. It'll happen at RMC. It'll happen at the School of Infantry. Okay, when you get the chance to be a commander, then do it. Because if you get a chance to do that, you can actually make life easier for your friends, for your brothers. Okay, need to win. You need to win. At the end of the day, in a military context, if you don't come first, then you are metaphorically dead on that battlefield. You're going to have time available for a mad minute. How are we going to do this, Daz? Okay, Ant, I get it. Boom. Let them know. Okay, so you can see the people here. They need to change sides now. Prepare to lower, don't slam it down, change sides. Teams change. You will learn all of this in the military. I didn't expect these people to know it, but they're all professionals from sporting backgrounds, etc., that have seen these QDEs, quick deduction exercises, happen in the past to teach them how to be better commanders on the ground, so I expect better. The information available will always be lacking. You can't wait till you've got perfect information to make a decision, because if you wait long enough, then you will be the guy that waited too long for tactical dilemmas have set in. The other person's decision action cycle will be faster than yours, and you are guaranteed to fail. And you'll find that in this as well. Mission. Extrapolate what the mission is. Did these guys even say our mission was not time-based? There wasn't the vehicles are going to leave at 12 o'clock. Time is 11:01. It was just beat the other team. Beat the other team. These people beat themselves. Both teams lost, really. Yep. Because their commanders gave up. Because their commanders were hopeless. They weren't commanders. They weren't leaders. They got taken over by redundant command that wasn't asked for. The mission, understand what it is. Okay. There was no time limit. Okay. Climatic weather. We can make things difficult for you by doing it at night, by doing it in the cold, by doing it in the heat. All right. Getting you wet. I've done all of these tricks on people during PT lessons. The vehicles, that was a perfect time to give a mission brief to your people. Okay. Effective mission. Right. Conflict through command. Right, this is where people need to understand it's time to shut your mouth or it's time to lead. What's your job in this, participant? Then shut up unless something happens. I need to know right now. Okay, conflict through command. Okay, that's worked out. And that's synchronized when you actually allocate the commanders. Daz, you are my number 2. All questions need to go through number 2. All changes will be conducted by the 2IC, second in command, that is Daz. Risks to plan. What are things that can occur that can make it tough for us, and how do we mitigate that? Righto, if we had the leader that was Miss Pothurst there, what I would have done, she's a leader, she could have been the one that was at the very front that said, follow me. I'm 55 years old. She understands what she can do well and what she can't do well. Follow me, give command, okay, keep your head level. She could have done an excellent job. And she'll do a better job if you gave her a second hit. And she'll do a better job than that if you gave her a third hit. Exposure to dilemmas. Mitigations, okay, yep, we just explained that. Okay, what you can do to give you a better chance in this. Okay, ask questions. If you get an opportunity, ask questions, because that will cut down the white noise, make them yell at you but answer your question. You just got some extra vital time and information. Allocate positions, yep, we've said that. Okay, execute. External white noise, Ant Middleton yelling. Address the elephants in the room if you have them. You won't be on this. You're going to do this job instead. Okay, let's not have you doing this as part of this activity. Defunct the team. Yeah. Are you a leader or are you a participant? You need to know this. What sort of leadership style do you have? I don't give a rat's F-U-C-K about your feelings when the job is on. In the AAR, you'll have the maturity later on to know it's about the heart, it's about the mission, and then about the hugs later maybe. Guys and gals, it's funny, we have all of you guys that want to come and join the military. Well, people saying, why would you want to do that? Why does it give you? What does it give you? Yet they revere these celebrities who play a sport, okay, and go, they're amazing. An actor, an actress of Home and Away. Wow, that's the pinnacle. Yet all of these people they look up to are almost useless on this show. You're seeing a reality that the leadership that you thought would come from these stellar pinnacles of society is absent, is AWOL, absent without leave. Right? And you might find yourself in the same position. But I tell you what, when you join the military, you'll be around 1,000 positions like this, and it will forever change you. But the problem is the modern workplace will not accept a warrior culture within that gets the job done with the least amount of emotion, least amount of information, where the team is all nationalistic. When I say nationalistic, I mean we're working for the company. When people don't have a job to do, go home, buy a frisbee, walk a dog. Military should be used by all companies to come in and be guest speakers. People that know what it feels like to actually have danger involved for repercussions. When you have a meeting, you'd better goddamn achieve something. Otherwise, while you have a meeting, you're pulling people off the tools. These guys now go into a scenario where the next one's a kit check. Yeah, not kit check Turks that fought against Genghis Khan. We're talking about a kit check that occurs where the sacrifice that will happen for the team that is the worst ends up standing on the parade ground for hours at a time, freezing cold, while the others are in there getting warm, going to bed. All they had to do was a kit check. So again, through redundancy of command, I would have said to Daz, okay, well, let's say Dave D this time, or Lauren, what I want you to do is get everyone in the next 5 minutes to get every single thing they have, don't give a fuck how you do it, and put it in a pile, all in one neat row, and then I will tell you what happens next. Okay, that happens. No worries. Lay them out. Okay, one rank, and then from there, all I simply do is go back, put it here. Cups Canteen. Everyone, hold it up, put it here. Blanket, fold this way, put it here. And you do that with every single item. And the very last thing we do, water. Everyone, show me that You know they're going to hit you up for water, okay, that you have a level water bottle when they go to open that. Perfect. I've got inside information because I've been about this all my life. These people didn't, and they fell short. And unfortunately, the commander, because she didn't have redundancy in command, didn't have someone come over and buddy check her and go, hey, okay, Miss Potthurst, you know, how about your bottle? And ultimately, they failed because the commander of their team, again, nervous of failing, failed. Yep. There's logic in everything, team. Halve your stress by allocating Carl P to be your 2IC, or Lauren, or Dave D, or someone that you can trust to get the job done, that will take the rocks and the arrows for you while you give commands. That simple. Make a decision, right or wrong, stay by it, and people will actually look at you and go, he made a decision, stood by it. Well done. Right, Nicole, Stoddy, this is a special thing between Lauren and I that okay, I'm not sure what that's about. Dave Penson, like this, do that. Absolutely. We have call signs for it. Okay, the way we teach things. Okay, explanation, demonstration, practice. Explain what we're going to do. The instructor will now demonstrate exactly what we're going to do. Like this. Do that. Why are you trying to take the jar off? Okay, why are you trying to turn the lid right? Right for tight, left for loose. We all know that one. Guys and gals, Stoddy, debate that that barbecue sauce is great on a meat lover's pizza. You're in the weeds here. Do you understand what I'm coming through this, team? When we extrapolate any one of these lessons, this is because they're all operating as individuals within a group. When you go to Kapuka, the first thing you should do is say every single day, one of us will be the duty student in the absence of being told we're a duty student. What is their job? Their job is to be the last one to go into the mess hall. Okay, the last one to come out of the mess hall. The one that says, last man, even if you're a woman. It's just a saying. To let everyone know that your entire section is out. Okay, one section is on parade, corporal. Well done. Thank you. Okay, all we need is communication. All we need is for people to say, regardless if you're a friend, a mate, or indifferent, you're in my team. We'll see the best NRL teams still fail because there's internal fighting. Professional teams get military to go and speak to them about these sort of things. Okay, because one day you're going to have someone who's potentially wounded, shot, dead. Okay, and you still have to be able to say there's a mission to be done, grieve later. And you have to be able to do that. If you can't do that, it ain't your lifestyle. The comment section went full red herring. Stoddy, that's okay. As long as people understand when we do these videos that most of the people that go to RMC are not leaders. Okay, when you want to go to RMC, if you want to be a commander, you should be able to tell me why you're a leader and why do you want to be one. Because leadership and politics should be a position that is reserved for those that are confident but want to do the job and step up because they just know they can do a better job. It's not because you want the job. It shouldn't be because you want free olives. That tells me you're going to be the first person that's going to be goddamn corrupted. That's what it means. You know, if you're a politician that has been raised in good times, I guarantee that you're going to be a corrupt politician because no one can tell me why would you be there. What made you want to be a politician other than what you get out of it? The pursuit of money and resources over trying to make a difference, trying to help those that still call Australia home. Girt by sea. I've been to places that never close down. Focus, people. Focus. Steve B. I'm not in the army or could handle it, but I'm a country boy, and if invaded, I'm a crack shot and know how to hide. Sounds like a stalker. And when I see a thick, hard scrub, I think nobody will see me here. Steve B, you know what? the vast majority of you absolutely could serve in the military and would absolutely love it. People go, I don't like being told what to do. You go, then don't get married, mate. If you don't like being told what to do. Everyone gets told what to do. It shouldn't be a problem. I'm a follower, a supporter of the plan. I don't need to be a leader. Can I do it? Yep. Okay, but I prefer to help someone with implied tasks. So Dave D, Carl P, Lauren, Daz doesn't need to say, I want this done. I'm like the dog with a master wants to make them happy. I'll do more shit than I need to do so that when they come back out, they go, oh shit, you're doing a better job than me. You go, well, it's all right. It's okay. You always want someone with ADD to be working for you. Free olives. Luke Davis, no sir. Tinfoil hat. These comments. Steve B, I've been put in situations where I've seen people die, and looking back, I did not freak out, but did what I had to do. Ring 000, go. And later I thought about it. That's it, man. That's it. And that's the platoon sergeant's job when there's been a situation, okay, where there has been a conflicted situation, is to make sure you go around and you give pointless jobs to people to keep them from sitting down. The last thing you should do to someone who's facing shock is tell them, go over there, sit down and think about everything you just saw, heard and tasted. Get them up, ask them questions, walk them around, get them away so they can't see the sight. Keep them talking, keep them activated, because when you fall, when your adrenaline system dumps, you're useless, absolutely useless, and emotions will rush out. You watch people in the UFC, in MMA, when they find out they've got to fight a third round in the Ultimate Fighter, they go, I've got nothing left. I thought the fight was over. That's what this is all about. This military show, okay, is about testing you. You never feeling your feet are flat on the ground. Okay, what it's about is keeping you continually unbalanced to see what you will do, giving you the opportunity to quit. Okay, while also facing HR dilemmas, human resource, okay, while having climate discomfort, etc. Stoddy Brady Cars reminds me of a National Lampoon Vacation. The dog pissed on the picnic basket. Yes, and guess what? I'd still eat that from the basket too. And this is an AAR that's happening here. They're calling people in, and then they're shocking the system by, instead of being down your throat, they're sitting back passive, letting you talk, which again puts you off balance, like an interrogation, so to speak. Let them keep talking. And you see inside the human. And you realise these people are celebrities, sure, but they're just humans. And that's where I really liked Mr. Shaw, okay, and Sammy Burgess. I'm looking forward to seeing what Kobe Aberton has got to say, because at the moment they're playing him as the villain. I wonder if there's more to it. Joshy Fawns, not so cow. He says with pauses. Guys and gals, that's 53 minutes, okay, of me just talking smack. The military is the best thing I've ever done, team, and I've been in some of the most stressful situations ever. And you do have to, when it's all over, when the fat chick is sung, you have to contemplate what you did, what you said, what you didn't say, what you didn't do. And you have to make good with that for the rest of your life. But it's better to have lived than to stay sheltered and never truly know what you're capable of. It's great to be part of the great unwashed, to come home bloody, wet, leeches in your boots, some slashes and some cuts, some rips to your skin, some blisters, loose tooth, cam cream behind your ears, and then go and feel like you've tasted food for the first time, where everything tastes great, where the fatigue sets in, where you feel absolutely fulfilled by the smallest things, you feel alive. Yep. I I really think SAS is doing good for Sam. This show has been a really stellar season. Don't get me wrong. I don't like anyone yelling at me ear, and it could be because mine are bigger than yours. I don't know. But I feel like the show has showed balance. I think that there's been an after-action review from each of the seasons from UK, Australia, etc., and they've realised we need to do less of this, more of that, keep the intensity up. This episode was called Leadership. It showed you good leadership. It showed you poor leadership and what a lack of leadership can do. Yeah. Where can I buy that book, Kaz, about Rwanda? I don't actually know, mate. This was my platoon sergeant wrote this. Okay, my platoon sergeant from Rwanda. It was actually called I can't remember, but it was a really dark book. So they've changed it and made it look more, official, more consumable to the public. I don't know how my boss, Mr. Tilbrook, feels now. He's never contacted me ever since. But I don't know how he sits on it. But that's our job to do. He was a leader. He was our leader. Angus Gray. Thanks to Lauren. You most welcome. I think it's probably an appropriate time to put Lauren on for the second time of the day. Does anyone have any questions on leadership while this is playing in the background? Remember, don't knock the way someone leads. They're playing Kobe as the villain. If that was truly the case, he was a villain, look at his mates. They're having a good time, he's accepted. They wouldn't be doing that with him if he was always a dickhead. The cameras need to give you a villain, and they've achieved it. Let's see what Lauren has got to say. L'Oreal, because you're worth it. I hope you enjoy these more information. Fire hose at you.
Good evening, fire hose.
Guten Tag.
Hello.
Is it hard to hang on to these sort of streams we do when reluctantly I don't get to just look at the questions? It's a delivery of information. Does it come out like, is this guy unhinged and psychotic?
No, it doesn't. It comes off at the chat. We're all unhinged and psychotic, I think.
Yeah.
I think we might have a touch of the ADHD. We get a bit distracted sometimes.
Yeah.
We're back on track. We still garnish wisdom from what you're saying.
Well, thank you. Angus Gray just said, Kaz, did you get it deployed? Mate, I'm not trying to be rude, but I just held that up and said that was from my trip.
Yeah.
Mate, that was Central Africa, Rwanda. Okay, 94, 95. Million people massacred. Okay, in a place smaller than Tasmania in less than a month with bladed weapons. And then Australia went in as a multi-force organisation team with the United Nations. We were the most expensive troops there to basically watch as part of our rules of engagement rather than assist. It was a really weird one. Other than that, East Timor did that a couple of times, then went over to the Middle East to where the Camp David Accords are occurring still now with the Sinai MFO, which is Op Mazurka, okay, with 11 other nations, I believe it is. And so 4 times, mate. And I should have been on more, but
yep.
I got an arse disease, despite the fact that I've never had Valentine's Day with a sailor.
And he wasn't in the Navy.
No, yet I'm the one that gets clacker control problems. I'm the victim here. What about me? It isn't fair. I've shaved my balls, but I've still got hair. Can't you see?
Gosh, settle down.
I want to live. And Lauren absolutely hates this.
What?
This stress doll that actually looks like
I really don't.
it should be hanging below a man's legs.
Nobody in the history of the world has ever said, "My, what an attractive scrotum."
No, Bailey's hat. Do you argue that everyone needs to refill their water bottles or just go with it and wait till the DS designate break? Mate, you will always turn up. Before Kapuka, what always used to happen was you would drink an entire litre of water half an hour to 40 minutes before you actually went to PT, so you don't need a single drink the entire PT session. And that's a fact, Jack. Okay? But when you turn up, it needs to be level. When they say fill it up, you fill it up level. Okay? Yep. Because some people will carry less water to keep the weight down that they're carrying, especially when they're talking about marching order. And I'll tell you something, Lauren.
Go on.
I learnt the very hardest way. I thought I was actually going to die. Not from bullets, from water. We were in East Timor, and we got told you're going on an OP. The standard operating procedure was you would have carried 20 litres of water, which is 20 kilos. Yeah. Our packs weighed around 60 to 65 kilograms.
I couldn't even lift them.
No, I know.
People used to think it was funny to try and get me to lift their packs, and I couldn't ever.
No,
I used to
heavy.
fall over with the webbing.
Well, I've had my eye just completely bloodshot from bursting vessels, from just lifting packs with mortar rounds in, ammunition, food, controlled stores, everything, on top of body armour, on top of webbing, on top of ammunition, on top of webbing, and it is more than you could bear. Literally. But I deliberately took, I think it was 12 litres out instead of 20. And we were on top of this feature that had no trees as an overt OP, observation post, to deny freedom of movement to threat forces in the AO, area of operations. When we got up there, we didn't know much about this. And when we got up there, it got extended for another few days. So you're looking at an area which is over 40 degrees, and you're sitting in there with body armour on, helmet, all of this equipment, absolutely sweating like a bloody soccer ball ham. And basically what happened was I stopped drinking because the fear of running out of water, because you'd never, ever swap water with someone. If you're thirsty, you got no water, I don't give a rat's F. I'm not giving you mine.
That's in your sniper undies.
Yep, that's right. You'll be wringing out those undies to get the salt. Our boots were as white. Sorry?
You've gone too far.
Our boots were as white as Ben Cousins' party bag, those if you know socks. What I'm saying.
Yeah, your socks went dry out would stand up themselves.
Yeah, our uniforms could stand up just from the salt that was in them.
Exactly.
And I'd run out of water except for 1.5 litres. And I was getting to the stage, man, I was having hallucinations. I was having dizzy spells. I was seeing those dots flying around. I was combat ineffective, and I was the 2IC. Wow. And then when we got told, okay, come down from the position, you've got to walk back to base, that was still a few kilometres away. And I still had 1.5 litres when I got back. I was so nervous I'd run out that I would run out, because when you run out, there's nothing else. That I didn't drink it. Yep.
Yikes.
I learnt that lesson. It was a tough one.
Just like the cheese lesson. You've got to live and learn, and you've just got to do as you're told, and sometimes trust why there's things in place, right?
Yeah, that's right. I ate so many cans of this cheese, and I used to teach people the secret of the cheese, the spice, the melting.
Oh, no.
It was so good, and I ate that until my butt. It's probably why I've got this problem now.
We've put that together before in the chat.
The ration pack already gives you constipation. And I tell you what, I bunged myself up like a cannonball, getting pushed in top of a cannonball. Yep. How many years was Kaz in service?
Yeah.
24 years, mate. 24 years.
Angus Gray's new here. He's just trying to get to know you.
Well, it's fantastic. Angus, let us know about yourself, mate. You're my favourite cut of steak.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's always nice to see new folk in the chat.
Look who else is here. Echo, 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 echo. Do you get it?
Yeah, I get it. I just seen it there. And you know who else is here? Speaking of leaders, Dave D is here.
Ah, Dave D. He's a man that gets things done.
He does.
Pimple popper. They get the job done.
Yeah, we love a good furuncle.
Yeah. So Echo says, good evening, Kaz. I have a quick question for you. Does the ADF, Australian Defence Force, still offer direct entry for civilians into commandos? Yes, they do. They do. And for selected people, I would say go for it, but most I would say don't. The best thing you can do, team, if you want one-on-one conversations, guys, we're going to put another video out in the next few days. Go to Patreon for the price of coffee a month. Okay, you can have a one-on-one mentoring conversation where we'll talk about the pitfalls of this or that, or how to do anything that you want to do better. Okay, this is all about you doing the most that you can to give yourself the best chance of passing.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure you like if you can, team. If you watch on the big screen, how am I looking?
You're always looking good. Look at that hair.
There's too much of it.
I know, it's resplendent.
Being virile. Thanks, man. Just getting my bearings in here and hearing all the raw information from a vet. I've never worked with animals, mate.
Oh, you're so funny.
Huh?
You know what he means.
Angus.
Yeah, Angus, there's a lot of veterans in here. There's a lot of veterans even in chat. So
Yep.
you are in them. They're a pretty friendly bunch.
Is the sniper here tonight?
I don't know. He's not really feeling well. I think he caught my bug, so he might even be asleep.
Okay, Georgie Hannah. Hey, Kaz, can you talk about the career progression opportunities as a reserve infantry soldier? Mate, that's a hard one because, one, it depends on your unit. It depends on how much training you get, the more time that you can give to it to get the opportunities for promotion. And if you can do all that, you should be in the regular army. Really.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the Army Reserve is meant to be there, not as a try before you buy it. The Army Reserve is meant to be there because you have either family or a career opportunity that is too good to pass up, and to garnish that, okay, you join the Army Reserve that gives you this side, okay, of leadership, of testing, of adventure, okay, that compensates everything you do in the civilian life. Okay, if you want to do this all the time, come and join the regular army, mate.
Yeah, exactly. I love those jam bickies from the ration packs. Did you like them?
They call them biscuits jam smashed because no one ever gets them without them being broken.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I've seen some very interesting ration pack recipes that you guys used to come up with, and they're actually very creative sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. It's like, well, prison food can be fantastic too, can't it?
Exactly, because especially if, like, I used to send over salami, people would chop it up, put it in with all their little tins, they'd make some sort of weird stew.
Never send a salami to a sailor. He'll be absent from duty for a while. Hey, we've got Mr. Tyrone there. Kaz, I've checked out your Patreon. What's the difference with the subscriptions? They're all the same, mate.
Yeah, they'll all get you access to the bat phone.
It's all, do you want to be an Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta? Okay, just because of the colour designations to that, mate. You know, but all it's about is jumping on there and getting the one-on-one mentoring or the conversation, or assisting me as I assist others, whether it be buying groceries, helping buskers, helping people that are down and out financially. And when we get past this lockdown, you will see me use the shoehorn to get Aaron Dixon out of his house, and we'll go and do another one, get it all captured on video. And if my shares really, really go well, I've said to Lauren, I'd love to pay someone, you know, to be my offsider for a year, to come and help me be the cameraman, to come on my Van Halen tours.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Hey, Pally, we'll get going in a second because we've been here for an hour and 8 minutes. Tom Kilburn, there's a name. That sounds like someone who can get you back alive. That sounds like someone who's ridden a bull. Hey, Kaz, what's the most important quality of an infantry officer? I'm not trying to be facetious when I say this, is to have leadership. So many people have no leadership. I think that the infantry officers have a fairly big monopoly on actual leadership, okay, because they normally are the fittest, they are the most decisive thinkers, they are the jocks that are all about, going in, getting dirty, getting the job done, leading men, have normally been the captains of sporting or football teams, etc., who are all about decisive, professional arrogance to get the job done. Okay, but the problem is sometimes that's also coated with a special sauce of ambition, politician, where they forget how they got to the top.
Yep, exactly.
Your best friends will never be officers. They'll be NCOs.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, excellent. Luke Davis, this is what it's about. I can't join the regulars because of my family commitments. Fine, that's absolutely what it's about. So reserves is a good option at the moment. I can give 100 days a year. There you go. There's nothing wrong with that. But when someone wants to do more than 100 days a year and they're otherwise unemployed, that's unacceptable. Go in, sign up, do the job, commit. Okay, that's what it's about. Okay, no worries, it's Tyrone, mate. Look forward to getting some advice. I'm still waiting for my medical and PFA, but this bloody lockdown isn't helping. No, it's not, mate.
Not helping at all.
Angus Gray, we'll call him the steak. Hey, man, what do you actually usually go live? I normally go live on Mondays and Fridays at 7 o'clock. But because of SAS Australia, I want to watch that. I've got to be able to look after the things that I dig. And it's also school holidays. And it's also 3.5 months of lockdown at the moment. It's been driving me absolutely balmy. Like an Aboriginal, I want to go walk about, and I've got the legs of them as well.
Come on now.
Mate, if you put my legs on a woman, I'd be getting whistled at from every walk. Every goddamn work site I went past, I'd get whistled at. You put them on a bloke, and mate, oh, skinny legs. You go, yeah, but my knees and my ankles are fine. No shin splints here, mate. We've got some.
Think of what Ali said.
What?
Just gonna throw your bottom half away.
My daughter, we went out and picked the rock where my ashes will be thrown when I die, probably sooner than later. And she goes, oh, what are we going to do? Do I keep some of the ashes or not? And I said, yeah, you can either keep the ashes or you throw them in the water off here, the Stockton Breakwall at Newcastle. She goes, well, I want to get you from the waist down. They can burn your legs and I'll throw that in the ocean. And she goes, hate them. But the rest of you, I'll take that home and love you and remember you. I'm like,
oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Soccer skills. Good to have you here, mate. Echo. Hey, Kaz, lots of love, Kaz. You're that dark, you must be from Wales. Mate, dark humour is the way I get through. My actual warning bells go off when someone is sensitive. As soon as someone's sensitive, I see them as dangerous.
Yeah, that's true.
What the hell's going on the screen? Oh, we've got ads in there as well.
Why? What?
Oh, just ads that were from the video. Guys and gals, if you don't watch that SAS Australia, I'm telling you now, you can learn so much about yourself. You can. It's less about what the military side of it and more where would I fit in this mix. You guys and gals have got so many people that say to you what you can and can't do in this lifetime. We are at a junction in the civilization of the world where it is going directly up, where no one knows what's going to happen next, yet everyone claims to be a goddamn expert, including myself. And when in doubt, racism, sexism, whatever, you go, bullshit.
Yeah.
They're saying now that Gabby Petito, God bless her soul,
Tragic.
it's absolutely tragic. They're saying that that's racist because it's saying because she's white. Well, going, what about the other 1,000 white people who got killed at the same time?
No, and we care so much about everyone.
Everyone.
How dare you try and hijack a girl's, demise for your own political agenda? How dare you?
How dare you? It's always the people that claim to be the most righteous have got the sharpest fingers for pointing them. It doesn't make sense to me. The only thumbs down people you normally get are normally lefties that come in and they see one little snippet of something and go, okay, we'll put a down thumb on that. The reason why I know this is because I do a lot of research on different channels. We don't get many thumbs down. but I see the thumbs down that people do and some of the comments people make on other people's videos about things, and you go, dude, you knew what content you were going to watch. What, and now that you saw it, now you're not happy? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Good night, Rob Kent.
Good night, Robbie Kent, the master of hounds, the lover of animals.
Always nice to see him.
Sydney Shaw, what a beautiful name.
Yeah, you know what? It's a dude. Okay, I've told you that before.
Sydney Shaw, hey Kaz, with 11,000 followers now, has Defence ever approached you in reference to how they can get more applicants into the ADF? No, they haven't. I speak to a lot of military people from all different levels. Yep. And they can't be seen to overtly saying, hey, Kaz, you're doing well. But you got to remember, this is my second channel. I used to have nearly 16,000 subscribers until I lost that channel. You know, and this is our second one back.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you really care if they're happy with your work? I don't know.
No, because if you're copping flack, then chances are you're over the target. You know, I care about the soldier coming home alive. I care about the family. I care about the sacrifice of mums and dads who have their children sign up.
Exactly.
You know, and we always need to remember that.
Yeah, you're a free man now. You don't have to show your chin.
Free man.
You can say what you like now. And,
Jetty.
you know, they learn something if they choose to listen, and you'll be the one to give them the hard truth, just like you do everyone else, because someone's got to do it.
Someone got to do it.
Comment, they'd be stupid not to listen.
Stupid. Stupid is as stupid does. We've got fantastic Jetty here. One, that's a great name, and two, I love jumping off them. We've got to a point, Jetty, in Australia. How is this for ludicrous? And I'm not talking about the setting on a Tesla.
Yep.
That if you go to the Manly Wharf, one of the most beautiful entries into an area, there's a jetty there that has Bavarian eating restaurants, bars, breweries, all that sort of shit. The ferries come in. It's where the English first see what they think is Manly until they walk through the shopping centre and actually make it to the Manly beach. But when you have no money and you can't afford to go to the pool or the absence of having a pool, people jump off jetties, jump off pylons. It's quite skillful and entertaining to watch. The fine for jumping off the wharf is $2,800. That's disgusting. This is a country where we came here because we took other people's bread, and now you're telling me on a hot day that I can't jump off a jetty?
Yeah.
$2,800?
It's pretty harsh.
It is harsh. G'day, Kaz. This is Jetty. I'm an Aussie. He still calls Australia home, but he lives in America, about to join the Marine Corps. There you go. 14-man section. Just want to, and the training has just been extended too by an additional 8 weeks. Good timing. Just want to say that I've watched your channel for a while and enjoyed everything, especially your humour. Mate, get those Marines on board, because guess what? I've done a lot of training with Marines, and we kick their ass at everything. You know, but I loved working with them. Absolutely loved it. But in saying that, I also got punched out by one. He was a massive dude, and I reckon I would have been his friend normally. You know? But he punched the shit out of me outside Tats in Townsville. Yeah. One of the biggest street fights I've ever seen.
Legendary.
Yeah. Old Kaz went down there and became Gus, the steam piler, taking the gravel out like a council worker with my bottom lip. Semper Fi. Semper Fi straight up. I heard some news too that some of you guys and gals aren't going to like.
What is it?
What are you saying, Kaz? Okay, I'll tell you. Apparently, I wonder if they've been listening to my channel. I've heard Kapuka is extended by an additional 3 weeks to fit in fitness standards.
Really?
Yeah.
Well then.
Yeah, so the PT's about to go up, and I think that it's going to go back to something similar to a BFA to get out of Kapuka. If that's the case, well done. You deserve that, and you'll appreciate it in the long run.
Yeah, exactly. It'll help you. There's Lilith with a orange cow.
Mate, that is way more than you need to with that Hare Krishna cow there.
Yep.
Mutsu cow.
Thank you, Lilith.
Every sailor loves a man in uniform. Lilith. This is the first time. Is this the first time I've seen you, my friend?
I have not seen Lilith's name, I don't think. Sorry if I have and I've forgotten, but we do have a transient population here.
That is equivalent to 31,000 people
That's a lot, Lilith.
watching from AdSense. That's how much it'd take in Australia. We get less monetisation than what they do in USA. Do you mind if I spend that on some half-cooked chicken for lunch tomorrow? Mate, you can't just drop a beautiful... Can we get some thumbs up there, please, team? That's really gracious of you, mate, especially in these hard times. I hope you haven't overextended yourself. I feel dirty.
You'll pay it forward, though.
Oh, I pay it forward nearly every day. It's cost me a fortune buying people's coffees at Macca's. What do we know about you, mate? Can you tell us something about yourself? Can we get some thumbs up for him here as well? So clearly we've done or said something, unless you've just taken out a bounty on me.
I've never heard of a dude called Lilith.
That's a good name.
It's a lady's name. It's a very old name.
Is it a lady's name?
Yeah, it's a biblical name.
I'm sorry, my dear.
Yeah.
Someone misgendered me and called me a man the other day.
Yeah, spend it on Brussels sprouts because you still owe us a sprout.
So, Miss Lilith, okay, talk to us. What's happening?
Oh no, they've sniffed out that you're a lady.
Run, lass. Sydney Shore.
Run away. Misgendering has actually become a thing here.
I tell you, that's what we're going to do. Miss Lilith, I'm going to get a Brussels sprout tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that donation. It's about to poison my taste buds.
Do it for
And I'll wash it down with tubes. What tubes? These tubes.
Speaking of lovely ladies, Chanel Christie is here. It's always nice. Chanel's an OG. She's been here for a long time.
I really love the perfume that comes from Channel.
I do too. I do too.
Because you're worth it.
Don't mind Chanel. They have nice handbags.
The Desert Wolf, paying you 30 to take your, to take the second channel. Man, I remember when that happened, when my second channel went. I've heard people say even now it still comes up sometimes, with this random content on it. Bastards. Jetty, I know Aussies are better, mate, and of course Australia will always be my home. I want to make it proud. And you know what, mate? You're going to love it over there. What you need to do is try to get to Hawaii, Kaneohe Bay. It's fantastic, massive unit. I think there's nearly 28,000 Marines. Or you might end up back in Australia at Darwin. Now, that'd be a twist.
Yeah, indeed. That'd be cool. That'd be super cool. There's Lilith. She's sending us some love.
Can you say it with your voice, because it sounds better than mine?
Certainly. Love your work, Kaz. Have been listening for a while. Love you and Lauren with a love heart. And she said, appreciate everything you advocate for the ADF. Well, we appreciate the positive feedback. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, mate. It's absolutely appreciated. And you know what? The one thing I get to see that most of you don't get to see is the amount of parents that ring up or let me know or have a laugh with me and ask me questions. Sometimes they try to put the flame to my feet, but they understand by the end of the conversation that everything I do has a methodology, and that I actually do care about the people and their hardship, like the soldier. Here's a tough one, Stoddy. We've got a soldier at the moment who's at Kapuka who had to pull up short before he went to the pack marching activity and actually said, my legs are hurting too much. So now he had to ring me and say, what is going to happen to me? So there's only three things that can happen: stress fractures, shin splints, or compartment syndrome. And any one of those things this time of training can get you, see you later, medical discharge off the bat. So I don't know what conversation he had today, but my heart will hurt for whatever he's about to hear. I agree with that, Steve B. Absolutely do. You've got to look after your friends, and that's what we did with AUKUS, was we put a new line in the sand and said, who are our friends right now? Who's going to stand with us? And that's what happened.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Just because someone used to be your friend, that ain't enough. And you know what?
No.
If France wants to get angry and throw insults at Australia, they need to remember why their grass is green. It's because it is covered in the blood and bone of Commonwealth soldiers and US soldiers who fell so that they could have the lives they had today. Not once, but twice, and they got their ass kicked by the Romans as well.
Yep.
So
I believe they apologised for that.
Sorry?
I believe the French apologised for that.
Well, the sad thing is it came from the politicians. It didn't come from the people. And the people probably turned around to the politicians and said, what did you just say? Do you understand what you just did?
Yeah, exactly. There's school children who observe Anzac Day in France. So the actual people themselves will never forget what we've done.
Well, at Villers-Bretonneux, they sing the national anthem from Australia at the schools. Their school was bombed out, and school kids from Adelaide in Australia paid for their schools, and now they have Remember Australia, and they sing Australian national anthem. To me, I'd be a bloody mess if I heard that.
Exactly, me too. Yeah.
Exactly. Hashtag me too.
Yep, that's right.
Shot through the heart and you're to blame.
I love how you make me remember songs I haven't thought of in decades.
You're my goodbye. Guys and girls, I asked Lauren if she'd be willing to do a Zoom session call over the next few days about a specific subject.
Yeah.
We may or may not do it if she doesn't want to, but
I'm up for that.
We're after two other people to come on to fill out that page, so it's a 4-way Zoom call. So don't be surprised, some of you, especially from Patreon, if we reach out to you and you end up in being a quarter of the pie. If we can get 9, that'd be funny too.
You're gonna end up in the Brady Bunch.
Yep. You're right on there, Steve B. Yep. And you know what? I am an absolute staunch nationalist. But in saying that, I want you to be too. If you're from France, I want you to be goddamn proud to be French. If you're from Istanbul, I want you to be proud. If you're from Nepal, I want you to love it. I want you to think you've got the best country in the world.
Exactly.
Everyone should fight for the right to be able to love their own country. And I couldn't think of anything more sad than people that hate the country they live in.
Yeah, it must be awful.
Go to California. There's plenty of them.
Yeah, and they've got it so good. It's obscene, really, when they've got it so good compared to the rest of the world. It's really obscene.
It is. Well, tick like before you go. Thank you very much for your time tonight. I hope you took something away with the extrapolation of leadership. In summary, remember these terms. Bam. Okay. Are you the leader or you the participant? You know what to do now. Bam. Fitness and command. You need to be able to handle the rigors of making decisions with limited amount of information, in a limited amount of time, and be willing to take acceptance of the decisions you make. Bam. Redundancy in command. Don't do it alone. You need to be able to war game with someone else to allow them to help you to help them. Bam. Control measures. Organise shifts. Organise buddy pairs. Organise ways to pick things up. Force preservation. Do things properly. Do it right the first time. Okay, next one. Bam. Honest HR. Be willing to stand your ground and say, you are not good at this. This is not your strength. Get out of the way. Go and do that. And I'll talk to you about it later, and you need to work on that, or that's just not your spot. Bam. Last one. Be honest in AARs, after action reviews. Tell people, you tell me what you did wrong. Make them own their participation in the incident, in the mission, etc. And remember, if you can put tactical dilemmas on your adversary faster than what he can actually combat them, then he will end up choosing either freeze or flight, and you win the day. The difference between a tactical commander and a strategic commander is the tactical commander must be robust enough to last the mission and get you home safely. Okay. Are you a leader or are you a participant? That's all for tonight. Let's see you after the next episode. And please, go easy on these people. They haven't been trained. Anything else, Lauren?
No, I think you've covered it all and you've done it very well. You've explained it in a way even I could understand with my little woman brain.
See you later, team. I hope you enjoyed the last 3 days. We put out something small each day. And that's designed because I love it when my channels put something out every day. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. We love everything you put out, Kaz, and thanks for the stream. We always appreciate your wisdom and your time and for you to facilitate this great community. Thank you to all the moderators. Thank you to all the members. Thank you to all the lurkers, all the new people, all the old regulars. It's always nice to catch up with you all.
Yep. If you're ever thinking, Kaz, you could do better, just remember, I'm the only one doing it. And the one that's in front of you now is the best until someone better steps up and tells you something different. See you later. Take it easy. Love your mother like I do. And I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to go and now treat my tongue like a convict's back and eat these tubes until my head spins with bliss. See you later. I still call Australia home. Jetty, take it easy, Semper Fi, my man. And get your mates involved as well because we need some US on this channel. That means us.